Thank you so much for joining us. In our first story, the National Council of the opposition New Patriotic Party has given clearance for processes to begin to suspend the party's chairman and General Secretary Kwabena Japon. The council has, in a 7-page letter to the NPP's disciplinary committee, ordered that steps be taken to suspend Mr. Paul Afoko from the position of chairman of the largest opposition party. This was after the council met with Mr. Afoko over some turbulence in the party. The letter signed by the chairman of the council, C.K. Tedam, was copied to former President John Ejekum Kufuor and the minority leader, Oseche Mensah Bonsu. My colleague, MFR Ali, caught up with the communications director of the NPP, Nana Akumi-Afomao.
You are the communications director of the party. What exactly does the letter say from the National Council of Elders?
Thank you. It's a very simple matter, even though it's also a grave matter. No, the national chairman of the NPP has not been suspended. The National Council of Elders does not have the authority to suspend anybody. The procedure in the party is that if you believe that a member of the party has misconducted themselves and brought the party's name into disrepute, there's a procedure. The procedure is that you put your complaint into writing and any evidence that you have, and you send it to the National Disciplinary Committee. It is the National Disciplinary Committee that will go into your petition, look at your complaints, examine your evidence. Of course, it has to go by natural justice. Speak to yourself to allow you to present your evidence and your story. It will speak to the person that a complaint has been made against, and then at the end of the day, the disciplinary committee will take a decision. They may decide that looking at the nature of the complaint and the evidence, they didn't think that there was any need for any sanctions and that the complaints do not amount to misconduct. Or they may believe that after examining the complaint and the evidence and speaking to everybody, they believe that there's a case for misconduct, in which case they will recommend sanctions. The sanctions they may recommend, the National Disciplinary Committee, may include suspension or they may include expulsion.
In this complaint, we hear that there's been a recommendation for the national chairman, Afoko, to be suspended, so as the general secretary. You are looking at bringing peace into the party. These people have large following. Isn't that going to muddy waters? Because now, regardless of how the issue is being handled now, it's in the public domain. How does the party feel about how things are going now?
The party hasn't met to take a feeling. The process is going through the party. So we have to wait till the end of the process to know how the party feels. As to your concern that Afoko has a large following, well, if he engages in misconduct, and I haven't said he's guilty of misconduct, but if, assuming he engages in misconduct, or anybody engages in misconduct, like I engage in misconduct, you will still be sanctioned, despite the fact that you have friends, or you have a family, or you have followers in the party. If you are guilty of misconduct, you are guilty of misconduct. The important thing is to explain to the party people the nature of the misconduct. So we shouldn't worry ourselves about whether somebody has a following. If the flag bearer does something that will bring the party into disrepute, you think we should let him continue? So the important thing is to make sure that the matter is gone into by the disciplinary committee. They are fair, they go by the rules of natural justice, and they are able to come to a conclusion based on the facts that are presented to them. That is the most important thing.
But regardless of what the situation is now, you can't downplay the fact that, I mean, it will somehow affect the party stakes in the upcoming election 2016, which everybody is preparing feverishly for.
Hey, look at the NDC. They actually had members of the national executive resign and go and form another political party to campaign against the NDC. And yesterday managed to mobilize their supporters, convince their supporters, and win elections. So nobody has resigned from the NPP. So if we go by the record of the NDC, Obeda Samoa, who was the immediate past chairman, the women organizer, the general secretary, they all left and formed a party to campaign against the NDC. You remember, in 2008, but they still won elections. So it's a matter of explaining to your people that this is the right course of action and getting them along.
Going forward, what should we be doing as a party, the NPP, in all what is happening now?
We should still be focused on our campaign, and I'm happy that the flag bearer is out there in the country, mobilizing supporters and non-supporters, sending his message of hope and restoration to them. And you are a media house. See there, check out the feedback from the ground. You will find out that it's extremely positive. People are receiving the message. People are excited by the message of hope that he gives to them. And you follow it, you will see. So the party will still remain focused. That if there are issues that have to be dealt with, unless there are no issues, but if there are issues and people feel there are issues and they are going through the constitutional processes, I don't see a problem at all. At the end of the day, this is a constitutional process. The constitution of the party says that if you have a complaint of misconduct, don't go and sit on the radio and shout about it. Complain to the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee are going to work within the constitution. They have 21 days to work. So let's hope that everybody does their work with integrity and cooperation. At the end of the day, the results will benefit the party. If they don't find any misconduct, that strengthens the position of the chairman.
Let's do some more on this with a political science scientist with the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Kingsley Ejay, who joins us live on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Dr. Ejay. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Good morning, Dr. Ejay. Thank you for joining us. You're on News Desk.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. So first, we want to know what will be the impact of the disciplinary committee's decision on the NPP regarding suspending the chairman and the general secretary.
Well, the impact is clear. Political parties thrive on numbers, so intra-party conflict should be dealt with in ways that do not drive away people who have decided to vote for the party, and also the constituencies of the people who are in the conflict. You are looking at a chairman, you are looking at a general secretary. They were all voted for. So if anyone thinks that everybody in the party hates them, would want them out, I think that would be a very bad line of thought. I am thinking that intra-political party conflicts must be dealt with in ways that will bring peace. To the extent that, people are to be sacked from the party and they are the helm of affairs, it tells you the anarchy, sort of. I'm not saying they cannot control the party but I'm using anarchy in the sense of not being able to deal with situations affecting the party negatively. So for me, I think the NPP has a big case. I heard Nana Komia say, well, they are focusing on the campaign. But why are you campaigning? You're campaigning to bring in a lot more people to vote for you so that you can you could win the 2016 elections. This is Cabinet Japan. This is Afoko. They have a very huge constituency. Apart from the two, some people have been mentioned as being the people influencing, these two guys who are whose blood is being sought for. So for me, I think it's neither here nor there sacking them. I believe they should bring them back to the fold, talk to them. If there is something that is going wrong, I think they should be able to deal with that. These are people who have been with the party since 1992. So I am not sure how they're going to, sack them and have it easy.
In your opinion, you think that the NPP can handle this in a better way? You're talking about bringing them back into the fold. Are you trying to say that it is not necessary for the NPP to suspend these key personalities in the party?
Well, yes, because this is a period when they should all come together and focus on the campaign and on their aim of winning the next election. And if you look at the caliber of people they are sacking, they are suspending, it tells you that then all is not well with the NPP. And I've been, watching closely how the leadership of the party, not the chair and the secretary, but the leadership in terms of who is leading the party, Nanado and the people around him, how they would have, dealt with this issue to the extent that they couldn't do so, and the people are demanding that these guys should be suspended, means that control, order, and a goodwill, good neighborliness in the party is not going well, and that could affect their chances.
So are you thinking that Nana Akufo-Addo, who is the leader of the party, is not doing well in trying to resolve the disunity of a sort in the party?
Yes and no. Yes, because this is an overdose of what I might call the inability to deal with that situation, resulting from the death of the guy in Volga. And no, because, I don't know the mechanism. They have the ways of dealing with their party issues, and if there are no mechanisms in a party.
Would you say that the NPP is in crisis? Would it even have a chance in the 2016 elections?
Hello?
Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I was asking whether you think, based on your monitoring, that the NPP is in crisis and it may even have a chance in the 2016 elections.
Well, 2016 is still far away. The elections are in December next year. If they could put the acts together and bring back to the fold the people, talk to them, human beings change. And only, excuse my language, fools and dead people don't change. So I think that they should not focus so much on the ills in the party. They should begin to look at the positive side, bring these people back into the fold, because for Cabinet Japan and, just as I said, Afoko, have a large constituency in the party. If you sack them, if you suspend them, you are suspending a lot of people, and people might think that the way forward is bleak and might not even think about it.
Let's remember, Doc, that this is a recommendation. The committee has not firmed up its decision on whether or not to suspend these two yet. But looking at the few months we have ahead of the 2016 elections, you think that the NPP will be able to deal with this situation before the elections?
Yeah, much depends on the leadership. It depends on Nana in particular and how he deals with it. The situation. He should not listen to those who do not like Cabinet Japan and Paul Afoko. He should look at the realities on the ground. You might get a lot of people cheering you at rallies and your campaigns.
What are the realities,
but when it comes to voting, you need these people.
What are the realities? You talk about looking at the realities. What are the realities?
Yeah, the reality is that you need these people. You need them. You don't have to wish them away. So the recommendation, fine, but I think they can go back and look at it. And the reality I'm talking about is that, you know, there are people who might not want Kwabena and Afoko out. Just as you have many people thinking that, you know, Kwabena and Afoko are not doing well, there are still many other people who think that they are doing well. So why don't you bring all of them together, talk to them, and then begin to mend the broken part of your campaign, of your party, and make a headway.
Doc, don't you think that overlooking what Kwabena Japan and Paul Afoko are doing, allegedly doing, may deepen the cracks in the party?
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned, you use the word alleged. It's alleged. It's not real. So have they done an investigation to show, for example, that they are in bed with the NDC? Have they done that? What is the evidence?
But they had a 7-page letter to the disciplinary committee stating some examples, some things they think these two had done that were not in the interest of the party.
Yeah, have Kwabena Japan and Afoko replied? Have they done so? You wait for them to reply. Or the Oteran party, hear the other party. So you wait for them to reply to your recommendation or accusation or what you allege they have done. And then based on that, you can say, yes, this is what they've done. So then they demand to be, or we are right in suspending them or even sacking them from the party. So for me, I do not see the cracks, you know, being mended without Nana putting his foot on the ground and actually dealing with the real situations that I'm talking about. And one of these real situations is that you still need Afoko and you still need Kwabena Japan.
Doc, you remember that the leadership of the party is not so happy that their internal issues are being discussed in the public. Do you think that media discussions are, in a way, affecting how well they are able to deal with the situations?
Yeah, media discussions have always been there. You create a situation and they will talk about it. So for me, that is neither here nor there. If you do a good thing, they will talk about it. People still mention President Kufuor, NHIS, and all the rest of it, the things that he did. The media is there, the fourth state of the realm, to talk about institutions and talk about what is happening in our society. So once you create the situation, people will talk about it. And many of the accusations have already come on air. So you expect Kwabena to keep quiet, not talk about it on air. Once you use that medium, he has to use the same medium to exonerate himself. So for me, that's neither here nor there. The media will continue to blow this out. It is for the party to put.
Doc, do you think that the Rise and Build tour embarked on by the flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo is yielding any results so far?
The what?
The Rise and Build tour, you know, the flag bearer has embarked on this tour to, you know, try to mend the cracks in the party. Do you think that it's yielding any results so far?
Yeah, rise means that if you have not fallen, you don't rise. So rise means that people, they are falling. They are trying to rise. That's fine. It's a good thing to do. Many things have happened from their primaries up to the death, through the death of the guy in Bolga, the chairman in Bolga, to the current issues. They have fallen. So that is a good thing, a good way of, you know, starting a campaign. As to whether it is getting impact, I'm not too sure. With these as a backdrop, with the leadership being asked being asked to step aside and all that. You know, you go for a campaign without the chair, without the general secretary. You go to important places without them. They are the eyes and ears of the party. Once they are not there, people will be questioning the unity in the party and how, if they are given power, they can manage, you know, this country. If you cannot manage a small party, how are you going to manage the whole country? So that's it. So for me, they might have impact based on the crowd that we see at these campaigns and all that. But that is not all. Beyond that, have they been able to deal with the issues in the party? How are you going to appoint people if you win? Are they going to be together to govern this country peacefully? These are things the leadership of the party should begin to think about.
All right, thank you very much. You heard Dr. Kingsley J. He's a political scientist with the University of Cape Coast. We still stay with politics, but this time around on the Convention's People's Party, which has fixed September 18 and 19 for its National Delegate Congress to elect national officers to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. The Congress would bring together constituencies, regional executives, the NEC Council of Elders, founding members, the CPP's only member of parliament, overseas branches, youth and women leagues, and representatives from Chad. And we'll get in touch with Samia Nkuma to give us more on this. You're still here on News Desk. We'll be back shortly with more stories.